Hey guys, Trevor Pritchard here from TD Pritchard Outdoors. Today I want to let you guys in on a little secret on how to catch these monster smallmouth on these clear Highland reservoirs during the months of November and December. Typically in November, when the water temperature dips below about 60 degrees, the smallmouth are going to run to the banks about halfway back into the creeks. And as it gets colder and the winter progresses, they'll move themselves back out towards the mouths of the pockets, and by January they'll work themselves back out to the main lake. And this is a simple technique. Just about anybody out there can go out here and do it. All you need is a few half-ounce football-headed jigs, and go back in these creeks and find you about a 45-degree angle bank with some chunk rock on it, and go and fish your football-headed jig on it painfully slow. And you'd be really surprised on some of the incredible days that you can have out here on it. And sometimes you'd go out and not even get a bite hardly, and it's real tough. And it's amazing by some of the big smallmouth you can catch on it. And for this technique, your setup you want to have is a 6.5 to 7 foot medium heavy rod. A rod that has a lot of power to it to where you can really drive that hook into those smallmouth, because as we all know, they can be a nightmare to hook up with at times. And then for my reel, I want to use a 7:1 gear ratio. That allows me to recover a lot of line before I set the hook on that fish. It really helps my hookup ratio by using that 7:1. And then for my line, I want to use 12-pound test fluorocarbon. That 12-pound test, I know it's a little bit low for being able to fish in this rock, but it really does help you to get a lot more bites, and a lot more so than what you would with 15 or 17-pound tests. Then moving on to my jig, I'll keep it simple with my colors. I want to use a brown or a green pumpkin, a half-ounce football-headed jig on almost all of my scenarios. It's just something real natural, just anything to imitate a natural crawdad. And then for my trailer, that I use probably 95% of the time with this technique, is real simple. It's just a green pumpkin Zoom Super Chunk Junior. It's just it's the old standby for what a lot of people like to use, including myself. And then probably the most important thing out there, and you can't forget it when you're going out here and fishing when it's really cold outside, is you gotta get you some cold gear. You can see out here, I'm out here bundled up in my Gore-Tex toboggan. Invest in a good pair of gloves as well. It'll really help you have a lot more of a better time out there on your trip. In conclusion, I want to highlight a few of the key points on this technique. Be sure to use your electronics to find where the fish are positioned at in the creeks. Then take your jig and fish it painfully slow. As slow as you possibly can, because if you do that, it will pay off for you and you're going to catch some giant smallmouth. And at times it is going to be slow and you're not going to get a lot of bites on it, but that's just how wintertime fishing is at times. But it really keeps you hopeful, and it's easier to stay committed to know at any moment you could catch a giant smallmouth on it. I appreciate the view. Please subscribe for more videos to come.